All right, continuing with 12.6, solving rational equations. What we see here for number 3 is we see a fraction minus another fraction equal to a fraction. Okay, so rational expression, and rational expression. So we have this makes it a rational equation because of the equal sign, and so we're going to try to solve this. Remember what the first step is to try to find any restrictions. And if we look here, there's no x's in the denominators or no variables in the denominator, so this one has no restrictions. Okay. All right. And then the method we're going to use here is similar to what we were doing with complex rational expressions. We're going to look here at these denominators, and then we're going to use the LCD, or the least common denominator, to help clear out our fractions in this problem. So if I look, the LCD is 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a 6 next to every single fraction. I'm going to multiply by 6. So multiply by 6, multiply by 6. I kind of have to cram it in here, and then multiply by 6. I'm just going to put it over here. Okay, I slightly elevate it because I'm thinking it's 6 over 1. Okay, so what happens here is I get these sectors to clean up again. So I get this sector is going to clean up, and the 3 will cancel out, and this becomes a 2. Here the 3 will cancel out, and this becomes a 2. And here the 2 will cancel out, and this will become a 3 because of our cross reducing or reducing. So in this little piece right here, this sector, I get negative 2x. I have my minus sign. I get 2 times 5 is 10. And then 3 times negative x is negative 3x. Okay. So just cleaning up those 3 individual pieces there. So I'm going to add 2x. I know that that gives me a negative x over here, but I can handle that. I have negative x equals negative 10, so I'll divide by negative 1. And what I get is x is equal to 10. So then looking at number 4 here, I have 3 pieces to this again. I have this piece, this fraction. I have the number 1 minus this fraction, okay? So remember, the first thing we need to do is find our restrictions. And so what would make this be 0? If I put a 3 in here, 3 minus 3 is 0. If I put a negative 7 in here, that would make this piece be 0. So the restrictions, okay, the restrictions are 3 comma negative 7. Okay, those are the values that, even if I solved this and those values came out to appear to be a solution, we'd have to rule those solutions out. Okay, and we'll see that happen, I think, on number 6, but I'm not sure if it happens on this problem. All right, but those are the restrictions. So what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to have to multiply by the LCD here. Now remember, all binomials need to be represented in the LCD. Okay, so I have to have an x minus 3 and an x plus 7. So I'm going to write pretty small here. I'm going to write x minus 3, x plus 7. Next to this one, I have an x minus 3, x plus 7. Okay, and then next to this one, I have an x minus 3, x plus 7. Okay, so let's see what happens in each one of these sectors now. So in this sector right here, getting a little messy, but in that sector right there, the x minus 3 will cancel out. So what I'm left with is, I'm just going to draw an arrow here, I'm left with negative 3 times x plus 7. That's what's left in that sector. Then I have my equal sign. And then I have, in this sector, I have the 1 and then these two binomials that have to be multiplied together. So I can FOIL this, okay? So I'm going to FOIL that as I write it down there, okay? Just making a little note. I have x squared. Then outside I have 7x. Inside negative 3x, so that makes 4x. And then negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Okay, so there's the first sector, there's the second sector, and then this last sector here, the x plus 7 cancels out. Got to be real careful with this negative sign right here. Okay, so I'm gonna put that negative sign onto the 2 by doing add the opposite. The reason I'm doing that is it's going to help me get my signs right when I do the distributive property here. And hopefully you can see you're going to take negative 2 times x, that's negative 2x, and then negative 2 times negative 3 makes positive 6. Okay, so I got quite a mess here that I got to work with, but I'm going to just start picking away at it. I got negative 3x minus 21. I'm just going to copy down this. Well, I'm going to combine some things together. I have x squared. I have 4x minus 2x is 2x. Negative 21, and I get minus 15. So combining some like terms. So remember what we have to do here is that we see this squared here, and then we have to be thinking about get all my junk onto one side or all my terms onto one side, and then factor and use the zero product property. Okay, so we've done that before. I'm going to add or move this over, add 3x, and then I'm going to move the 21 over or add 21. I have 0 equals x squared plus 5x, and then that's plus 6. Factor this, x plus 2, x plus 3. And then from the zero product property, I get x equals negative 2, x equals negative 3. Okay? Those are my two solutions. Okay? So this problem has two answers that would make it true. I cross-check them against my restrictions here. And see, these are the restrictions, and these things aren't the restrictions, so they're safe. Okay? If one of these was in a restriction, I'd have to rule it out. Okay? And we'll see that happen in a different example. Okay? All right, thanks. We'll wrap this up with the last two.